Here's a bunch of boards that we're gonna glue up and put the mica on. There's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And one of these gets it on both sides. Okay, well, it took us an extra day longer. Stuff kind of happens, right? But we are just painting this stuff on there. And the pencil lines show right through, so that's kind of nice. There's my lovely assistant. All right, so we've got a neat little assembly line going on here. What I'm doing is the piece of wood that gets glued, I'm putting that on my table saw here. And I give it one final brush with my hands. Then we bring the Formica over here and give that one final brush. And then this gives me a nice place to coat the mica. Much easier to do with two hands. Okay. And once the mica is coated, we set it out to dry. And then we set the wood out there. And every I'll get it. Every piece of mica is identified with the letter code. And every piece of wood is identified with the letter code. Okay. There you go, sweetie. You can take that. All right. Might be needing some more glue. I don't remember if I mentioned that this white mica, this is the inside of the cabinets. It'll be brown on the outside. So here's Dad's Miller's Falls Dynamite. This is a, what do they call this? A plane router. There's so many attachments that I was on eBay looking. All kinds of crazy stuff that you attach to this motor to do all kinds of things. Old tools are so wonderful, man. This is damn near 100-year-olds, 80 years old at least. And it works freaking awesome. I did have to put a new wire on it years ago. So I've got a 3/8 flush trim bit here. I think that's 3/8. It's about 3/8. The bearing feels nice and smooth. So we're gonna set the depth of this thing at, you know, something like that. Much easier to do with two hands. All right. So now, make sure this thing is turned off. I think it is. There's no, yeah, it's on off. Off. I'm gonna plug this jewel in, and we're gonna zip around here in counterclockwise rotation so that the blade is cutting into the work. my lovely assistant now can hold that thing. When I say lovely.
How are you going to cut that off?
All right. Make sure that we're not going to hit anything, okay? That flush bit was a little bit slow going. I think it's a little dull, but it got through it okay. All right, so now we're going to use this file. I've deemed this the front edge. It's the nicest piece. This is going to get mica on the front edge, the brown colored mica. So we want this edge to be sharp because we're gonna be gluing to it. And then once we put that front mica on there, then we'll feather it, the front mica down to give us like a little bit of a chamfer or radius. The rest of this, I wanna put a little chamfer on it just so we don't get cut. And this is going to be going into a groove, so I don't want to have to fight it. So let me see if I can unwrap this thing. All right, it was oily, so I squirted it down with brake clean. So files are really a right-handed tool. The way they're cut, man, that's a sharp file. The way they're cut, the angle. This is too aggressive. I need to get the finer one that I bought. All right, here's the finer one I got. Oh yeah. We just want to knock the edge off like that. The rough one, I just went around flat waist just to knock off any high spots that might be there. This is the bottom of the sink cabinet, and the back and the two sides are going to be going in grooves. All right, that's all I wanted to do. So now it won't cut you, except for the front edge. It's still razor sharp. Fabulous. Here's the back of the sink cabinet, and you can see where we're going to make our grooves. Okay, this is the bottom, And this is the top. And I'm going to trim this off now. And I guess I'll come back to you when we're all trimming everything and start making some grooves, because that's going to be groovy. See what I did there? We are getting ready for our first rabbet cut or dado. I don't know even what you call it. So I'm kind of like working this out of my head at the same time, just to make sure I'm not screwing up. That router is going to run, not there. We need, where this pencil line is 4 3/8 of an inch from the end. And that's what it measures. And then we're going to need 5/8 more than that. And this wood measures right at 5/8 with one layer of the mica on there. So 4 3/8 plus 5/8 comes right to 5 inches. We put our spacer in here. And then we measure from our spacer and we get 5 inches. We're right on the 5. And it's the same on both ends. So the cut is going to be right along where the edge of this spacer tool is. That's going to be our first cut. And then all we got to do is put a spacer between the edge of the router and this fence piece here of the right thickness to cut on the other side of the line. And it should be this, because this is 1/8 of an inch and I've got a 1/2 inch bit. So let's take the first pass here and see how we do. Okay, so we had our depth set correctly, because we're at 127 thousandths of an inch, which is oddly 2 thousandths of an inch away from 1/8. So I got really lucky on that one. And this is 5 inches. So now, let's see, our groove is 1/2 inch. All right, I am going to try using this spacer here sideways, which is 1/8, and see what we get. That should be exactly what we need. Okay, the groove is not wide enough. Let me show you what we did here. I put my dial caliper in here and I zeroed it out as best as I could anyway. All right, I zeroed it out on the width of the groove, and then I came over here and I measured this, and depending on where we're measuring, of course, we're very close, but I need a little bit of, reasonableness so we can get the thing in there. It won't fit. I already test fitted this piece. I mean, maybe I could force it in there, but I don't want to work that hard, right? Actually, I could file this little edge right here, but I need to get something just a hair thicker than this to go there. Like maybe if I put a piece of tape on it. That's about how much we need, I think. Okay, I put 2 pieces of tape on here, so effectively we got 4 layers of tape on that piece of 1/8 inch metal, and it comes to, cannot do this with one hand, about 140 thousandths, and it fits in there pretty snugly. That's actually like as perfect as that could get. I think I'll add an extra 10 thousandths and call it 150 thousandths is the size of the shim that I need. So I guess I could just keep using this maybe put one more piece of tape on it. That would be about 10 thousandths more. But I've got quite a bit of this to do. And eventually this is going to get tore up. So I am going to make myself something very precise out of a piece of metal so I don't have to work so hard. All done. This is the new one. And that's a little more than 150 thousandths. About 153, 154 thousandths. And with two hands, of course. You just put that guy in there. There, sorry. And you run across. And it'll make the exact width groove that we need. Hey there, it's Friday, August 23rd, and we have started the assembly. And hopefully everything goes as planned. So we're using deck screws, and I'm countersinking the holes so everything's coming out nice and smooth and flat. Everything's lined up here like it should. And let me show you how I'm doing it. First step, I drill through the groove. Don't need to do any measuring because the groove shows me, you know, good enough where the center is. And then we're countersinking the holes with the best countersink in the world. Right here. This thing is designed for aircraft sheet metal work. When you press in, it stops at the desired depth, which is adjustable by this collar. And actually this little lock nut is supposed to be there. And then we're using these 2-inch deck screws. And to make this work without splitting the wood, what we're doing, now that we've got those holes drilled, we'll assemble this onto its location, and we're going to pre-drill with 3/16 that deep, and that gives us about 3/4 of an inch of threads to bite, which is plenty. And as I mentioned a while back, what that does is the splitting force that a screw will do putting into an end grain like this is transferred from out here on the surface back that little distance that I'm pre-drilling, and the wood don't split. It's great. Well, there's screw up number 9,948. I was installing this way instead of that way by mistake, but that's fine. This is not finally installed. We're gonna have to put some glue on this joint because this is just screwed into the mica, and this thing can spin around otherwise, and the glue will prevent that. Now we're gonna prepare to dado out the back piece, and hopefully we'll get through this. This is going to be the most precarious piece of the whole build, is getting the back to fit onto this. Okay, I just discovered another faux pas as I was double checking things. This should be correct here. Let's double check this one. Yeah, that's right on 36. The bottom is a 1/16 of an inch too wide. We need to be right on 36. We're 36 and a 1/16. And I just figured out why. It's because we cut these grooves with the Formica installed, and that added a 32nd, or deducted a 32nd of an inch on each side. So this centerpiece ended up a 1/16 of an inch too big. And that's an easy fix. But before I go hog wild on this, I'm gonna test fit it. And well, I guess I could show you here how come I'm so anal about the dimension. Is I don't want to change anything that's here. it's got to fit in between that, and that. And it'll be a lot easier just to make it fit than it would be to try to trim all those pieces which are already attached to the concrete. So let's give it a test fit and see if it'll shoehorn in there, which I doubt, because I mean, I'm measuring it, but I think it's easy enough to carry this thing in there and test fit it. All right, it's Saturday, August 24th, 2024. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm not known for doing things the easy way. So let me kind of go through here and tell you what's going on with this thing. The original cabinet that was here was the same size, but it had a 4-inch electrical box right in the middle with a duplex outlet. And or single outlet, I guess you would say. One of those fed the garbage disposal, one of them fed the dishwasher, and Armorflex continued past that box, went through this sidewall, and fed the outlets in the island out here. The power to the 4-inch box came through some flexible conduit that was across the back of the cabinet. And all this right here is what was in that flexible conduit. The power is off on this, by the way. So to make the inside of the cabinet neater and to potentially give us more room inside here as well, I put the 4-inch box there. So the box is not in the cabinet, so we don't have that much extra obstruction. And these wires I just showed you should reach to that clamp on the side. Then we're going to have 2 pieces of Romex come out here. I believe it's code that you can put 2 pieces of Romex in 1 clamp. I don't know, but that's the way we're doing it. And then we're going to come through this. We're going to go through this hole. We're going to go underneath the cabinet. We're going to go into here. And in that box, which that was actually a screw up I just fixed. I had recessed this flush in here like I did on the other side because it looked neat, but I forgot myself. I had to leave this open to attach the Armorflex inside this box. So this is going to now be the box for the dishwasher to plug into. And again, like I said, the Armorflex is going to have a splice inside that box. So we are ready to install this. The Nissus is out doing a parts run for me. I need to remove this. Maybe I could scoot. I think I'll just take this off. This piece of 1x right here. I don't think we even need it.